What we're doing today is we're going to do two coffees, and what I'm showing today is kind of the difference between how a real simple change to a recipe makes a completely different drink. So the first one is going to be the Café. I know I'm going to say this wrong. I am terrible with different pronunciations, but a Café au lait. Okay, so anyways, you can crucify me if I got that wrong. And the second one is a Dutch coffee that translates to coffee done wrong. And which is very interesting because it's not much different from like a Coronado and that kind of drink. It's just a 50-50 drink, 1-to-1 mix of a high strength coffee as well as cream. So I don't get the difference, but you know, that's the way the Dutch see it, so that's the way the Dutch see it. Their version uses more of a warmed milk, so they don't froth it and they don't steam it, so they just heat it until it's almost scalding, and that's their whole preparation. So the first thing we're going to do is let's just start with the Café au lait. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the mocha pot. It does say that you can use a strong coffee. So you could use, like, if you did an espresso shot and then watered it down a little bit. Not quite like an Americano where it's espresso and water to fill up like a pot of coffee or a big cup of coffee. But you're gonna go for like, you know, half of this cup, basically. And then what we're gonna do is then you're gonna use for the Café au lait, you're going to pour in the milk, stir it, and then you're gonna apply the foam on the top. I don't really know if that's even all necessary, but that's the recommendation. So, yeah, let's get right into it. What we're gonna do is, I got water boiling right now. It's about done. And I have it's kind of a fine ground coffee, but here, let me show the overhead on this. You can kind of see it here, but it's not like espresso ground. It's a little coarser grind, and it has, because you don't want it to be super fine because we got too much bitterness on the super fine. All right, water just boiled, which is good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pour that in to the mocha pot. It's better to use freshly boiled coffee. And we'll go ahead and heat this up as well. Now, after you put in the hot water, you're going to put in the dosing, not the dosing ring, it's kind of a portafilter. I don't know what you would actually call this little thing here, but it's a little filtration unit. And we're gonna fill that up with the grounds. You don't need to tamp this, you just kind of want to smooth it down. Since you're not really putting the same kind of pressure that you would with like an espresso pull, it is pressurized, but I think it only gets up to about 3 to 4 bar in there of pressure, where espresso machine I believe gets up to 9 I think is the recommended. So there is a big difference between these kind of devices here. So, all right, after we got that kind of pushed down, this will tamp it down even more. We'll go ahead and screw this on. And you don't want to grab it with the handle, and you want to be careful with the base too, because now it is hot. So put a little rag down, and you just want enough pressure to make sure that it seals itself. There we go. It seals itself as it heats up. Now, while this is going, we're gonna go ahead and get the milk ready to go. So what I have here is I have this is a milk frother, and we're going to use this for the Café au lait. So this is kind of a half and half mixture, but what we're going to add to it is a little bit of sugar and a little bit of vanilla extract. So in doing the research for this, one of the things that I came across was that a Café au lait doesn't have any sugar in it, and that if you're adding sugar to it, it's only for children. And I have a big issue with that personally. I think that if you enjoy sugar in your coffee, then you should go for it. You should enjoy coffee however you enjoy it, and it shouldn't matter if you add coffee or sugar or not, or you add milk or not. None of that matters. You should just enjoy coffee the way you like it. So I personally, when I first started drinking coffee, I added, it was like this much cream and sugar and this much coffee. And yeah, that didn't fly well with my wife. So I've adjusted it over time to where now I can enjoy a straight espresso shot. I think that's sweet when it's done right. You get a lot of sweetness out of that. But if you want sugar in your coffee, go for it. You do it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So we're going to add just a little bit of vanilla extract. We're not going to add too much. Oh, that smells good. I'm adding about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Like, I'm using about half of this. So don't worry about adding too much. You're just gonna add a little bit for flavor. And then I'm gonna add, I would say, maybe half a teaspoon of sugar. I use a simple syrup that I make. I use this for my my drinks that I make. But again, not too much. Just a little bit of sugar, just to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. And we're gonna wait, because this does take a while to heat up and to get pressure. So we're gonna wait for it. And while we're waiting, we're just gonna kind of enjoy the day. And again, the mocha pot, this is in our Amazon links, as well as the coffee that we're using, which is Lavazza coffee. It's the Gran Espresso. It's a medium dark kind of roast to it. It is our family's favorite coffee. And we just ordered a bag of the Super Crema, which we're going to use for pulling espresso shots, which is more tailored for espresso shots. I think I hear it boiling, so let's go ahead and put the milk frother on. And the milk frother too, it's a Sakura milk frother that is also in our Amazon link. So anything that I use, we have links to it so that you guys can, if you guys like what I'm using, you can purchase it for yourself. So let's go and turn this off. So once it starts percolating, you want to go and turn it off, and the residual heat from the pan as well as inside the mocha pot is going to keep pressure. But you can see, oh my God, you're loud. There we go. Sometimes this thing gets out of whack. I don't know why it's so loud today. Things usually very, very quiet. But yeah, you can see, like, I've turned this off and it's still boiling. I can't believe how loud that thing is. I don't think I aligned it properly. That's really weird. I think it's good enough because I can't deal with that noise. All right, here we go. So now we have the froth milk, and what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and pull this off because I think this is done. And actually, that smells really, really good. I'll push this out of the way a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the glass and we're gonna pour about half of the cup in there. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio of coffee and milk, so you can see where we're at. And God, that smells really, really good. Now, the trick here is that as you pour, you want to let the foam stay in and just pour in the milk. And see, now we've got a nice bloom going there. We're going to give it a little bit of a swirl, because now what we want on the top is that foam. And that is a Café au Lait. A lot. I like it a lot. Let's give this a try. Yeah, that's really, really nice. It's not too sweet. We didn't put a lot of sugar in. If you want it sweeter, you can definitely add more sugar to it and make it how you want. Make it taste how you want it to taste. That's the most important thing. That is a really, really nice cup of coffee. Actually, I'm going to let my wife know. Let her come down. Actually, did she just join? And let her know that there is a cup of coffee for her. Because this is one of my wife's favorite cups of coffee is a Café au Lait, and I want to see if how I did. Let's see. The next cup of coffee that we're going to do is we are going to use what's in here to make this next cup of coffee. And so it's kind of backwards from what a standard cup is, and it's literally the opposite. You're going to add kind of a steamed milk, and then you're going to pour in a strong coffee over it, and it's a 50-50. All right, so here's a Café au Lait. Give that a try, see what you think. And this is the...
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And this is the coffee gone wrong.
Oh,
No,
yeah?
coffee done wrong.
Coffee done wrong?
Yeah.
The Dutch coffee done wrong.
Yeah, and it just tastes like a cafe latte. I mean, it's just a 1-to-1 mixture of, so 50% of it is the strong coffee, and the other 50 is like a steamed or a warmed milk,
No.
and that's it. So,
I wonder why the Dutch think it's wrong.
because it's like a cafe latte, which is supposed to be 1/3 of milk to 2/3 of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
so it's half and half. And again, it's literally like you add like a quarter of anything different, and they make up a whole new name and a whole new, you're wrong and I'm right, and so it's funny how even when I was looking up that recipe there, that's wrong on 10 different websites, but each one is wrong to each other as well. And one of the things that I was saying was that, oh, thank you for the likes, appreciate it. One of the things that I saw on there was that if you add sugar to your cafe a lot, it's for children.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, that's very pretentious. You know, like, if you like sugar in your coffee, then you should add sugar in your coffee, and you shouldn't be held down by a tradition of what is right and what is wrong. Like, you know, it should just be whatever it is that you like.
Is there sugar in this?
Like half of a teaspoon for the entire thing of milk.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and a little bit of vanilla extract as well.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I really like that. This, I could give or take, you know, like, it's just another cup of coffee with milk in it. The translation of it, of this drink here, is called Café done wrong, or coffee wrong, or wrong coffee, or whatever. And so it's opposite of the way that you normally pour. So this, you put the coffee in first and you put the cream in, or I don't know, because I've seen it both ways. It's a 1-to-1 shot of steamed milk, or not steamed, but warmed milk and coffee. So it's not that it's wrong, because this recipe is kind of universal to a lot of different countries. It's a cafe latte is all it is, but it's just a 50% coffee to 50% milk. And I guess to the Dutch, that's considered wrong. But what's really wrong is that I'm not drinking this traditional Dutch way, which is with a cookie. And I really wish I had a cookie to drink with my coffee, because that sounds amazing. That's one tradition that I could definitely get behind. Hope you enjoyed. And like I said, if there's any products that you want, make sure you hit up our links. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But have a great Monday, have a great rest of your week, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.